Welcome to Graphic Online's News in Brief. In the headlines, forget about the e-levy. It's no time for jerky manoeuvres, Economist Kwame Pianim to the government. President Akufo-Addo urges black business community in the US to invest in Ghana. We'll tell you how the fraud control dashboard is helping to fight cybercrime in Ghana. Noguchi detects 34 cases of Omicron from returning travelers. And Asantehene shares his personal experience with power outages in Kumasi. And now the news in brief. Economist and New Patriotic Party stalwart Mr. Kwame Pianim has asked the Ministry of Finance to take advantage of the budget process crisis for more reflection and consultations. Speaking to Graphic Online, Mr. Pianim said this is not the time for jerky maneuvers. He wants the government to forget about the proposed implementation of the electronic transactions levy, commonly called the e-levy. His explanation is that it is an anti-technology progress and may undermine the significant progress being achieved in the financial inclusion for the unbanked.
In a wide-ranging council he shares with various sections of the society, including parliamentarians, the government, the finance ministry, and organized labor, in response to questions Graphic Online sent to him, Mr. Kwame Pianim urged the finance ministry not to seek to stress further people who are struggling to survive. Rather, it should focus on expenditure cuts and husbanding scarce resources. He urged the government to restore the toll booths to protect the fresh foodstuff markets that have developed around them, and that if not restored quickly, we may do damage to the rural economy and especially the women traders there.
President Akufo-Addo is in Atlanta, Georgia in the United States of America and has addressed the 45th Annual Legislative Conference of the National Black Caucus of State Legislators. He urged members of the black business community in the US to take advantage of the numerous investment opportunities existing in Ghana and come down to invest.
President Akufo-Addo said it is a great time to invest in Ghana, for the opportunities are bright, adding that the country was seeking to build back strongly from the ravages of COVID-19. He made the call when he delivered the keynote address at the Africa Flagship Program session of the conference.
Investors are optimistic about the Ghanaian economy. We've done the heavy lifting required to transition our economy into a growth economy and are establishing sustainability and irreversibility. We're spearheading regional integration and cooperation in industrializing in Africa, and currently hosting the Secretariat of the African Continental Free Trade Area, AFCFTA, which comprises 54 states with a combined GDP of some $3 trillion United States dollars. It does look like, despite the very real difficulties posed by the COVID-19 pandemic, we in Ghana are doing some things right and sending out the right signal.
At that same event, the National Black Caucus of State Legislators of the US Congress present President Akufo-Addo with the first ever International Nation Builders Award of the National Black Caucus of State Legislators.
The president of the National Black Caucus of State Legislators of the US Congress, Congressman Billy Mitchell, explained that the Nation Builders Award was established to recognize those African Americans who have distinguished themselves to live-long service and dedication to enfranchisement and inclusion of Americans of African descent into the national body of politics.
Mr. President, I present to you the first International Nation Builders Award of the National Black Caucus of State Legislators.
The fraud control dashboard, launched by the Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia in April this year, has so far aided in blacklisting and blocking of a total of 23,000 SIM cards and mobile devices that were being used to perpetrate cyber fraud in Ghana. This was made known by the Minister of Communications and Digitalization, Mrs. Akufo. She was speaking at the launch of the 10th anniversary of the Ghana Chamber of Telecommunications in Accra today. Her speech was read on her behalf by her deputy.
When I spoke at the Chamber Mobile Technology for Development MT4021 conference in April this year, I congratulated the Chamber for complementing the efforts of government, which is establishing a central equipment identity management system by setting up the fraud control dashboard to help eradicate fraud. I'm told that so far the FCD that was launched by His Excellency Vice President has blocked over 23,000 devices and blacklisted about the same number of IDs used by fraudsters.
At that same event, the Chief Executive Officer of the Chamber of Telecommunications, Ken Ashigbe, spoke about the activities for the year-long 10th anniversary, which he said include engaging stakeholders to drive Ghana's digital transformation agenda.
We are going to be training a minimum of about 1,000 school children on coding, and that we are going to concentrate that in the regions in the north, and then in the OT and the eastern region. We also would work with the Ministry of Communication on Ghana's digital policy that is in the west. The ministry has gotten some consultants who've done some work, so we will continue to engage on that. The first event after today is our regular media dialogue, where we meet with the media and then we provide a forum where we can dialogue with the media.
To some health news, the Noguchi Memorial Institute for Medical Research has detected 34 imported cases of the Omicron variant of COVID-19 from 120 samples. They were all from travelers to Ghana who were screened at the Kotoka International Airport.
The imported cases were detected from samples collected from travelers returning to Ghana from 3 countries between November 21st and 25th. The institute says they are closely monitoring the Omicron's potential spread in the local population and has encouraged the public to continue adhering to the COVID-19 prevention protocols, as the World Health Organization has warned that the Omicron poses a high infection risk.
The Inspector General of Police, Dr. George Akufuo-Addo, has paid a courtesy call on the Asantehene Otumfuo II at the Menchia Palace. Advising him, the Asantehene tasked the IGP to ensure that all illegal firearms are retrieved from civilians.
The Asantehene said there was no doubt about the fact that many illegal weapons have found their way into communities, and that in order to ensure absolute peace in the country, no arm should be in wrong hands.
And still in Kumasi, the Asantehene has been speaking about how electric power fluctuations in the Ashanti region in recent times has been affecting him personally and residents.
David Onwa obefie wo kwa kwedidi na kanea fon nanim na edum. Nazo na po na de na aben no se na mekwa akwhwam na yi. Na de eye medan na wogina ha kan se. Ehunu se kanea no ye na mafa mpanyimfo a wo mu nyina so mu nyina me mra na emehwe adekro. Na le engineer fo ne nipa ehwe kanea ni nyina wode nyina ba manim na. Mo kasa yi mu broni kasa me yese wono na dwumadie na mahwe aye Hanson se na ye nyina ye nkone yenkore ta no ye no school mu de no se mpanyimfo na hwe wo mbehwe yi se mbehwe ama enema atete ne nyina wo mbepesika ne ayama aye makane na se gyina amaye.
In Parliament, the leadership of the majority and minority caucuses have been meeting to find a common ground to resolve their differences over the 2022 budget. Proceedings on the floor has been adjourned to Tuesday, December 7th.
Meanwhile, Parliament has apologized about the misunderstanding that occurred in the House over the approval or rejection of the 2022 budget. They are promising to come out with a resolution as soon as possible.
As Parliament, we can assure the citizens that we are working on ensuring that as soon as possible, as soon as practicable, we'll be able to put together a resolution that will serve the interest of each and every Ghanaian. We apologize for what may not sit well with people, and we promise that as much as possible, we will work bearing in mind the nuances and the cultural sensitivities of the people that we serve.
News in Brief was brought to you by Graphic News Plus.
Download your Graphic News Plus now and choose your preferred package daily, weekly, monthly, and annually, and access free news on various interest areas as well. Graphic News Plus, connecting people through news.
As usual, thank you for watching. We'll see you again with another edition. Stay safe and protect yourself from COVID-19. For more news, visit graphic.com.gh or log on to Facebook at Daily Graphic and on YouTube at Graphic GH. You can equally pick a copy of the Daily Graphic at the newsstand. I am Enoch Dafa Frimpong.
Subscribe now.